Do you think you know why your dog sleeps at the door? You probably assume it's random. But here's what most dog owners completely miss. That spot your dog chooses every single night isn't an accident. It's a decision rooted in something so deep, so primal, that once you understand it, you'll never look at your dog the same way again. And it's not just about where they sleep. It's about what they think their job is in your home. These 7 reasons explain everything. And by the end, you'll realize your dog has been trying to tell you something this entire time. Let's start with the one that changes everything. 1. Your dog thinks they're protecting you while you sleep. Ever wonder why your dog doesn't curl up in the softest, warmest spot in the house? Why they choose the cold, hard floor right by the door instead of your bed or the couch? It's because your dog isn't thinking about comfort. They're thinking about strategy. In the wild, canines are pack animals. And within every pack, there's an unspoken rule. The most vigilant members sleep at the entry points. Not because they're outcasts, but because they're guardians. That position by the door isn't random, it's tactical. Your dog has decided that if anything comes through that door, they'll be the first to know. And more importantly, the first to respond. A study from the University of Lincoln found that dogs retain these ancestral instincts even in domestic settings. They're hardwired to monitor entry points, especially at night when the pack is most vulnerable. So when your dog sleeps at the door, they're not being stubborn or uncomfortable. They're on duty. And here's what makes this heartbreaking and beautiful at the same time. Your dog has assigned themselves this role because they see you as their pack. They've looked at your home, assessed the risks, and decided, I'll take the door, you sleep safely. That's not just loyalty. That's love in its most primal, protective form. 2. They're waiting for someone who left. Have you noticed your dog doesn't always sleep at the door? Sometimes they're fine on the couch in their bed or next to you. But the moment someone in your household leaves, whether it's for work, college, or even just a weekend trip, suddenly your dog is back at that door. This isn't coincidence. This is grief mixed with hope. Dogs don't understand time the way we do. When someone leaves, your dog doesn't know if it's for an hour or forever. All they know is that person walked out that door, and that door is the only place they've ever come back through. So your dog waits. Researchers at the Family Dog Project in Hungary found that dogs form individual attachments to each family member. And when one of those members is absent, dogs show measurable signs of stress. Increased cortisol, reduced appetite, changes in sleep patterns. But here's the part that breaks your heart. Your dog's stress isn't just about missing that person. It's about the responsibility they feel to be there the second that person returns. Because in your dog's mind, if they're not at the door when their family comes home, they've failed. So they sleep there, night after night, just in case tonight is the night. And if this is hitting you differently right now, share this video with someone who has a dog, because most owners have no idea what their dog is actually trying to tell them. 3. Your dog is reading the energy of your home. Does your dog sleep at the door more on certain nights than others? Pay attention, because your dog isn't just reacting to what's happening. They're reacting to what might happen. Dogs are emotional sponges. They pick up on tension, anxiety, and stress in ways we barely understand. A 2018 study published in Learning and Behavior found that dogs can literally smell human stress through changes in our sweat and breath. When you're anxious, your dog knows. When there's tension between family members, your dog feels it. And when your dog senses that the emotional climate of the home is unstable, they move to the door. Not because they want to leave, but because they're preparing. They're positioning themselves between your family and whatever might add to that stress. Think about it. When was the last time your dog slept at the door? Was it after an argument? During a stressful week? When someone in the house was sick or upset? Your dog wasn't being distant. They were being a buffer. This is why some dogs who never slept at the door suddenly start after a major life change. A new baby, a divorce, a death in the family. Your dog is trying to stabilize what feels unstable, and the door is their control point. 4. They're guarding their own escape route. This one is hard to hear, but it's important. Not every dog sleeps at the door because they feel safe. Some sleep there because they don't. If your dog has anxiety, past trauma, or has been rehomed multiple times, that door represents something different. It's not just an entry point. It's an exit. Dogs who have experienced instability learn to always keep their options open. They don't fully relax in the center of a room because they've learned that safety isn't guaranteed. So they sleep where they can see everything and leave quickly if they need to. This is especially common in rescue dogs. A study from the University of Pennsylvania found that dogs with unknown or traumatic histories show significantly higher rates of hypervigilance. And one of the most common behaviors? Sleeping near exits. If this sounds like your dog, here's what you need to know. This isn't a sign that your dog doesn't love you. It's a sign that they're still learning to trust that this home is permanent. And the kindest thing you can do is let them have that door. Don't force them into the bedroom. Don't move their bed away from their chosen spot. Let them keep their safety net while you slowly prove to them, day after day, that they don't need it anymore. Over time, you might notice something. The distance between your dog and that door gets smaller. They start sleeping a few feet away, then in the hallway, then in your room. That's not training, that's healing. 5. Your dog is monitoring your routine. Have you ever noticed your dog moves to the door around the same time every night? Not when you go to bed, but earlier. Maybe right after dinner. Maybe during your evening routine. That's because your dog has memorized your schedule better than you have. Dogs are pattern recognition machines. They know when you wake up, when you eat, when you leave, and when you come home. And they use those patterns to predict what happens next. When your dog moves to the door during your nighttime routine, they're not waiting for someone to come in. They're waiting to make sure no one goes out. In multi-dog studies, researchers found that dogs often position themselves strategically during transition times, moments when the pack is most likely to split up. Your evening routine is one of those times. Your dog has learned that after dinner, after the lights dim, after everyone starts settling in, the house goes quiet. And quiet means vulnerable, so they post up, they take their position, and they wait for morning. This is why your dog might seem restless if you break your routine. If you stay up later than usual, leave the house at an odd hour, or have guests over, your dog's entire system is thrown off, because they've built their sense of security around predictability. And the door is where they go to restore it. 6. They hear things you'll never hear. Let's be honest. How many times have you seen your dog staring at the door and thought they were being paranoid? You check. There's nothing there, so you go back to what you were doing. But here's the thing. Just because you don't hear it doesn't mean it's not there. Dogs can hear frequencies between 40 and 60,000 hertz. Humans max out around 20,000. That means your dog is hearing entire layers of the world that are completely invisible to you. The neighbor's dog 3 houses down, footsteps on the sidewalk, a car door closing 2 blocks away, a delivery truck turning onto your street. To you, the night is silent. To your dog, it's full of information. And every single sound that comes from the direction of that door gets processed as a potential threat or a point of interest. This is why some dogs sleep at the door even in the safest neighborhoods. It's not about actual danger. It's about their biological need to monitor. And the door is the epicenter of every sound that matters. If your dog sleeps at the door and occasionally lifts their head, stares for a moment, then goes back to sleep, that's not anxiety. That's your dog doing exactly what they were built to do. They heard something, they assessed it. They decided it wasn't a threat, and they went back on standby. 7. They're telling you they need a job. Here's the one most owners never consider. What if your dog sleeps at the door because they don't have anything else to do? Dogs weren't bred to lie around all day. Every single breed, from working dogs to lap dogs, was created with a purpose. Herding, hunting, guarding, retrieving. Your dog's ancestors had jobs, and even though your dog lives in a home with no sheep to herd or game to retrieve, that need for purpose didn't disappear. It just got redirected. And for many dogs, that redirection lands on the door. Guarding the entry point becomes their self-assigned role. It gives them structure, it gives them meaning, and it gives them a way to contribute to the pack. But here's the problem. If that's the only job your dog has, they'll take it too seriously. They'll become hypervigilant. They'll bark at every sound. They'll struggle to relax because in their mind, they're always on duty. The solution isn't to stop them from sleeping at the door. It's to give them other jobs throughout the day. Training sessions, puzzle toys, scent games, structured walks where they have to focus. When your dog's mind is engaged during the day, they don't feel the need to guard all night. They've already fulfilled their purpose. So if your dog is glued to that door every single night, ask yourself, what did they do today? Because a tired dog with a satisfied mind doesn't need to be a guard. They can finally just be your companion.